Good morning. We're picking right up from where the last vlog left off, so if you didn't watch that, you probably want to watch that first to get some context. But today is Wednesday morning, and I am in between the two sessions for my 8 to 10 a.m. class that we have every Wednesday, which is behavioral science. So I'm just waiting for that second session to start. She gives us a 10-minute break. And I also made the thumbnail for Wednesday's video, and that's pretty much it so far. This is kind of what I have going on today. So not a ton of stuff. After this class, I'm recording a podcast with one of my classmates, and then there's an exam review before, because we do have a final, so she wants us to understand the past exam, our mistakes. Then I'm working on a group project that's probably going to take a while. And then I'm actually going to drive home, and then tonight I have a meeting for our small group for the Christian Dental Association. I also, at some point today, need to download the remote software for MyDent or for Axiom so that I can enter it from my laptop because, like I said in the last video, no more in-person activity. And then I'm also going to pack today before I go home because I'm planning on staying home until I leave to go to Florida. So I just recorded the podcast with Mitchell about D1 SimLab, D1 hand skills, and then I just am recording an outro and an intro for this Monday's podcast, which is going to be up on the 16th right here, and then the episode with Mitchell will be up on the 23rd, and then we have some more scheduled all the way out until like mid-January, so that's really good. It is 1 p.m. right now, and I have a bunch of stuff packed up to take home. I decided I was just gonna bring like half of my clothes just because I don't really know what I want to bring to Florida yet, and I want to get home, so I'm just gonna do that when I get there. And since we don't need to be in person again until January, I can come back and forth between here easily because it's 45 minutes and I'm not like, you know, my roommate's gone anyways. My point was, I figured I'd bring a lot home and I might end up just leaving some of it there for a couple months till we're back in January. But anyways, I'm just gonna do some dishes, straighten up around here, and then I think get in the car and drive home. Pretty much everything is packed clothing wise. I just need to pack like my tech stuff, laptop, all that, and then take out the trash. And then I also want to grab all of my food, so all my groceries, but I usually do that last, obviously, because things like frozen things melt and whatnot, so that's usually the last thing I put in my car. But we're gonna start doing that and gathering things up to go home. Wow, this is so weird. I'm remote desktopping for the first time. Wild. So this is exactly what it looks like when I'm on Axiom at school on the MyDent train. So this isn't, there's no real patient information even on this system. It's all for us to learn how to practice because it's the training version. But wow, it's 1:30 right now and I was all ready to go home, but I ordered some clothes and they're out for delivery today, so I want to have them with me and not leave them here for weeks, so I have to wait around until those clothes get delivered, which I'm hoping is like 2 or 3 and not like 8 p.m., but it is what it is. We'll see what happens. I don't have anything that I have to tune into until 7:15 tonight. I'm doing a small group with my CDA small group. There's 4 of us, so my roommate Amanda and then 2 other girls in the dental school. And I'm really excited about that. It'll be nice to get to know people on a bit of a deeper level and hopefully make some friendships that are like real outside of CDA friendships as well. So I'm really looking forward to it, but for now, to kill time, I'm going to work on this MyDent treatment plan entry for our 3rd patient so far, and that usually takes a long time, so probably like 2 hours or so, so I will just do it until I finish / until my clothes get here. So I have like the filled out version of the perio chart here, and I need to copy it into here, and this is kind of a little step-by-step guide of how to input stuff that our professor posted. So I already did a few things. So I logged in and selected the correct patient, and then I did their health history, which is medical, dental, and medications. Then I did the intraoral and extraoral exam findings. So that's their vitals, extraoral exams, so that's like feeling for any gum disease or any like cancer or anything in the mouth, and also looking at the radiographs of like their cheeks and lips and everything. And then now I'm on to part C, which is the perio chart, and then I'm gonna go through and look at their dental history and clinical condition and surfaces and stuff for the next part. But for now, we're on perio chart. All right, all 5 shirts are here. Basically, I'll just do a quick try on for you guys, like quick. I already packed my good jeans, so I might do it with this little skirt.
You're always talking about leaving, milk carton, black and white face.
All right, we are headed back home.
Smile vacant for the picture, parents waiting in the driveway. Oh my darling Arizona, why you packing up your suit?
Hello, I'm home, obviously, and it's quite a bit later, but it's not that late. It just gets dark so early now, as you all know. So it's 6 p.m. and I'm just about to make dinner, and then I have the small group at 7 on Zoom. So I'm just making some fried rice and chicken sausage. This is frozen, both from Trader Joe's, one of my favorites. So I'm just gonna saute these in a pan for like 10-15 minutes till it's all ready to go. And that will be dinner and probably some leftovers for lunch tomorrow. When I got home, I watched a little bit of Gilmore Girls, 1 episode, and then I made myself start lectures for tomorrow's quiz at 1. There's like 6 videos and they range from 25 minutes to 18 minutes. So it's basically 2.5-3 hours of stuff. And for Cell Bio, which is this class, what I like to do is split screen between the video and a Google Doc, and I take notes, either just my own notes or notes of the learning objectives. For this class, I've been doing, like this unit with this new professor, I've been doing learning objectives, and I found that to be really helpful, especially because that's exactly how he told us to study, and that helps prepare you for the quizzes for his style of questions pretty well. So I'm probably gonna try to do a couple more of those videos tonight, and then I'll do the rest tomorrow morning. But we're just gonna chef up some dinner and do small group and everything. So it should be a nice rest of the evening.
Hasn't anybody told you? My mouth on fire.
Good morning, happy Thursday. So I just logged on to start a podcast with my classmate Jenna. We're talking about being healthy in grad school. She does pro natural bikini competitions actually, so she trains really hard and diets like during her competition seasons, but when she's not competing, she's still very good about eating nutritious, well-balanced diets and everything. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm really excited. And then after that, let's see what's on the agenda for the day. We have some studying for our quiz at 1, and then I have an extra credit exam at 3, and I'm being a guest on a podcast at 5 called Girl with a Vision. I will link that below as well, and that's pretty much it for the day. Hey everyone, so it is the next day, it's Friday, and I have done quite a bit today actually. I did a lecture for infection and immunity. I'm still a little bit behind, so I'm going to be playing catch up over the weekend. I really let myself have a very chill week, as you saw in this video and the last video. I'm going to keep this vlog going through Monday when I leave to go to Florida, and then I'll cut it off there just because I haven't filmed a ton. So far today, like I said, I did infection and immunity, and I did a return of those Abercrombie clothes, the ones I'm not keeping, and then I just edited this video for Wednesday, and I made some lunch and stuff, and I'm gonna go to the grocery store in a few minutes here, but the weekend will be full of kind of trying to get a little bit ahead for cell biology for the exam. That's a week from Monday. And then catch up on infection and immunity and also on cardiology and oral facial function. I'm quite behind in all 3 of those classes right now, so be a catch-up kind of weekend. That way next week I can have a pretty like on-track schedule with everything, so that's that. I do feel like you're all due for some updates though, so this next clip is gonna be me sitting down updating you about school stuff, housing for next year, an EBoard position. Yeah, so get excited for that. All right, hello everyone. This isn't the most amazing lighting, but this is gonna be our little update clip. So I wanted to update you all about housing, about clubs and EBoard involvement, and about how our classes are finishing up. So I think from these vlogs you've gathered that we just have a couple weeks left. I have a week after Thanksgiving to study, and then 2 weeks of finals. So those last couple weeks in December, I'm done on December 16th is my last final for cardiology. We already finished up quite a few of our classes. The only ones that we have left is cell biology, cardiology, oral facial function, infection and immunity, and we have a final for behavioral science as well as a final project for behavioral science. So it's mostly everything with school. Grades aren't amazing this semester. They're definitely worse. I think my GPA will be worse overall than it was in the summer because my grade for clinical foundations, which is sim lab and the written part, isn't stellar. In future vlogs, you'll see me take the final for clinical foundations and not do too well on it. This clip is from the future, from when you're watching, but they aren't putting that clinical foundation grade into our GPA right now anyways because we didn't get to finish the lab portion, the sim lab portion, and that all comes together, written and practicals, to make your grade for that class. So it's not even going to be in our GPA right away anyways, so I think my GPA will be falsely high. And I also got a C+, I believe, in biomaterials that finished about halfway through this semester. If you all remember that we had a midterm and a final quite a few months ago, that class also wasn't a stellar grade, but most of my other classes are B's and A's, so we'll kind of see how things finish up. It's still, I feel like all of D1 year is really just going to be an adjustment. Our classes next term are going to be so challenging. I'm gonna make a video over Vlogmas one day all about what classes I take in dental school. So I'm going to go through the ones I took summer, fall, and what I'm taking next semester in the winter to give you a better idea of like what our schedules look like. And I figured that would be nice just to have as its own set video so people that want to know about that can just look there rather than being intermixed in this vlog, and some people might not watch all the way through. If you do watch all the way through though, first of all, make sure you give this video a thumbs up because that helps me out so much and lets me know that people like what I'm doing and it's worth my time to keep uploading, even though I absolutely love it. And another thing, I know that about 65% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you aren't subscribed, I would love if you do that. It just works with any Gmail that you have, is how you get like a YouTube account, and you can just press subscribe and then you'll know when all my videos are uploaded so you don't miss anything. And other updates aside from school, I said housing. So at first I was thinking I was going to live in a 6-bedroom house with some D1. So at first I thought I was going to live in a 6-bedroom house in the Carytown neighborhood of Ann Arbor, which I was so excited about because that's right by the farmer's market, lots of great restaurants, very like grad school, young adult vibes. And unfortunately, that didn't end up working out because we were one person short to finish the lease. We would have been moving into a house with girls that are dental students already that were gonna re-sign. But again, there was one room we couldn't fill, so obviously we weren't gonna sign it and chance not finding someone and then having to cover the rent for this empty room. Between all of us, it would have been a lot more expensive. And rent in Carytown is a little pricey because it is a really desirable area of Ann Arbor. So since that didn't work, we ended up having 4 of us from that 6-bedroom house are living in a house together in a different part of town. It's a little bit further from the school. It's about the same distance I am now, just kind of on the opposite end of campus. And the area it is pretty calm and more like residential, which will be an interesting vibe. I wasn't too excited about it, honestly, at the beginning because it just isn't like a exciting in your 20s, college house, downtown house kind of feel. It's like feels like a neighborhood that your parents would live in or something. But that is gonna be really peaceful and it's a bigger property, a bigger house, more space. And honestly, I hope that things get better with COVID, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're still online learning in D2 fall or even hybrid learning. So I don't expect to be in the dental school 8 to 5 every day like normal, even next fall when I'd be living in this house. So it'll be nice to be able to spread out more. We have a huge living room, a huge basement. The bedrooms are all really spacious. So there'll be me and 3 other girls. Amanda, my current roommate, is coming with. We're staying together, which is really great. I love living with her. And then the next 2 are D2s, so they're gonna be D3s next year. And I know them from undergrad and also obviously have hung out with them a little bit in dental school too. So that's the housing updates. Then finally, I want to update you all a little bit about the clubs and EBoard positions. So I think I mentioned I applied to be our class council's social media chair to run our school's Instagram page. I did not get elected for that, but my classmate Ellie is doing an awesome job. Here's the ad if you guys want to check it out and you're really gung-ho about coming to Michigan. That could be a great page to keep up with so you can see what all of our students are doing, and if we're putting on any events or anything for pre-dents, great page to check out. And then I did actually get a couple other EBoard positions though, which I was really excited about. So the American Association of Women Dentists, AAWD, I applied to be the D1 representative, but there was a tie, so they let me and my classmate Sydney choose between being D1 representative and professional development chair. And her and I talked, we were both like really cool with either, but I ended up getting the professional development EBoard role for AAWD, which I think will hopefully really nicely supplement and like both kind of benefit each other with my podcast and all, that I'm connecting with a lot of dentists on there. So maybe I can bring some of them into club Zoom meetings, or I can meet some dentists in the local Ann Arbor area to bring into club meetings and bring them on the podcast. So I think the 2 roles, like what I do for my podcast and then this EBoard role, are gonna intermix really nicely, I hope. And then the other club that I have an EBoard position for is ASDA. And I think this is so fun because it's something I'm probably gonna interact with a lot of you from. So it's going to be the pre-dental liaison position on their EBoard. There's a few people on this committee, but I'm gonna be one of them, and that means that I help plan the pre-dental day, which usually is in June, and I'm assuming we're gonna do that in June again. Usually in person. This past year it was all over Zoom, but I think they still make it pretty interesting. I helped out on the student panel actually for it this past June, so if any of you were there, you might have seen me on the student panel. But yeah, basically I'm going to help plan pre-dental events, get connected with pre-dental students and answer any questions they have about Michigan. Hopefully maybe even do like a virtual shadowing, or like, I don't know, really anything that I want to bring to the table. I think I can pitch lots of ideas. But pretty much I'm the pre-dental liaison. So I am the person, the middleman between pre-dental students and UMich ASDA is kind of where my role will be. So I think that also works really well with what I already do with YouTube and podcasting and mentorship that I try to have with any of you that reach out to me. So I'm really excited about these roles, and I think everything works out for a reason. I think that whatever positions I did get or didn't get or didn't apply for or whatever, I think everything turned out really, really great, and everything is a perfect amount of stuff for my schedule, really blends really well into what I already do and like to do, and I'm just very excited and grateful about everything. So that is, I think, all of the updates for now. Hi, back to the normally scheduled vlogging, but it's Monday, like I said, and I just took our quiz at 9 a.m., which is for cell biology. I did okay, 7 out of 10. Pretty fair for my laziness of studying yesterday. For the most part, you get out what you put in into dental school. Sometimes things, unfortunately, are just incredibly hard, even if you do work extremely hard. But so far for these classes, if you really put the work in, you can get a solid score. I'm not saying I'd for sure get like 100% or something. Like, as you know, I've never gotten that high of a score. But I do think that if you really put in the effort with dental school, you can get pretty solid results, at least with the level of difficulty of our classes this semester. I know that genetics next term is going to be super hard, and I also know that our systems classes that start in the summer and go into D2 year are also really, really challenging. So I'm sure things are gonna keep escalating in their difficulty. But anyways, so I just took the quiz. It was fine, and I still have a B in that class, so I'm hoping I could maybe get up to a B+, but if I can keep a B, I'll be really happy because you all know I started with failing that class, so I'm pleased. So right now I'm just going through our class secretary sends out a schedule every week. So I'm comparing that to put on here. Also compare it to the schedule that I have. And then I have a little Starbucks here from the BOGO on Thursday. So just gonna finish that, and I'm going to the airport later today. My flight's at 8:30, so I'm probably gonna leave around 5:30 just to give myself plenty of time. But pretty much just gonna look over this, cross-reference the schedule that she sends out for our class, and then make sure I know what I'm gonna do this week. And following that, I'm going to do an infection and immunity lecture. We had 3 last week. I only did 2, so I have 1 left from last week, and then there's 1 that we're supposed to do today. So I'll see how much I can get done, but pretty much just gonna try to do work until about 4 when we have a Zoom for one of our classes for 522 about another treatment plan, and then I'll leave for the airport, like I said, at 5:30. I do also have a call today for my podcast. There's 2 partners that work with dentists on disability insurance, and they wanted to come on the podcast and talk about that. So we're gonna do a call, just a quick one to introduce ourselves and figure out what we'd want to talk about, and then set a date to actually record the podcast. So that's something I have today too, but nothing too crazy, just gonna be mostly schooling. And I packed last night, obviously, to go to the airport today, so I have to add a couple like last minute things to your suitcase, as one does. With this beautiful sunset, I just finished up my last class, so I'm heading to the airport, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.